Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, March the 20th. Good to have you here. We've got one of my friends, a lot of people come here are my friends, Walter Bargen. Good to have you here. The first poet laureate of the state of Missouri. And we are almost in springtime. So today you wanted to do a poem that deals with summertime and spring and vacation.
Yeah, well, actually two poems.
Okay.
Hopefully there's time to do both of them. Yes, I was going to read a poem that is called Sea Fever by John Masefield, who was born in 1878. And the poem was published in a book called Saltwater Poems and Ballads in 1902. And it's a really glorious poem, very romantic in terms of its and very nostalgic in relation to the disappearance of the three-masted ships that sailed in the waters.
What's the name of it?
It's called Sea Fever.
All right, so here is Walter Bargen. Put your glasses on.
I'll put my glasses on, but okay, Sea Fever. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea in the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick and the wind's song and the white sails shaking and a gray mist on the sea's face and a gray dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that cannot be denied. And all I ask is a windy day and the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind cuts like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep, and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. And what attracted me to this poem was that very last line and that one word in the last line that seems to overturn the entire rest of the poem. The long trick's over. What did he mean by that? It almost seems like an existential moment right there. Is this for real? Was this all an illusion? And I thought that really segued well with the next poem that I would read to you.
Okay.
And this is in a magazine called Miramar. It's a literary magazine in Santa Barbara, California. And I wrote this in 2009, or the beginnings of it in 2009.
Okay, so this is your poem.
This is my poem. It's called Dume Screen Test. And I thought, well, here's this, to me, Sea Fever and the existential question that he seems to be asking there. And here is a screen test that's happening on a beach. And I'm watching it from a large rock that's projecting out into the Pacific. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is Shakespeare, the world is but a stage. And then, someone else added to that, and we are all poorly rehearsed.
All right.
Okay, so this is called Dume Screen Test, and that's D-U-M-E. This is a small state park north of Malibu, which is just north of Los Angeles. The sign reads that the promontory is sacred to the Chumash people, a posted holiness, a promise yet to keep, a reminder of what was borrowed and never given back, something more than the scattered, half-buried, empty beer bottles and shipwrecked all at low tide. This point of rough-risen rock, where the beach arcs away on either side, as if the dark beak of a stone bird and its swept back sandy wings are flying us out over the Pacific. The olive branch of a promised land still to be brought back as the tide slowly pulls open its restless wet curtain. Windows of hunger open to gulls and sandpipers who work the shimmer for what's just below the surface, for what's just out of sight, as we try to forget whatever we conceived for ourselves this day and most others. But the others, down below, in the back of this great metamorphic bird, cameras work themselves into moist positions as the rush of foam works up her thighs, embraces her hips that are about to set sail, the gossamer clinging of a white lace dress, and the upsweeping waves palming the curves of breasts that drip back the ocean's attentions, while the line of other young women wait their chance at Point Dume. The surf's hammer works grain by grain the dissembling, and we want only to believe and follow the laughter and cries of children running in and away from the salt surge. Perhaps later, when they've forgotten or thrown away their plastic yellow pails and red shovels, what we have to tell them they will never accept, even if we are sure. But mostly we want them to believe in this life and not be dragged down in the undertow. A tailless lizard scurries across the rocks covered with spray-painted initials, names the waves will later reread into fading promises. Even the flock of bikini-clad young women finished with the screen test turn away, glad to escape the creature of the Black Lagoon for another evening. Not to be pecked clean of their softness by what flies and crawls past, not to be lost or misplaced in this vast space fenced by ocean and sky, not to be deafened by the incessant churning of wind and dusk still clinging to their lens suntan resurrection. The rest of us scrape the black scars of tar balls from the soles of our feet, to be left with only our longings, sitting on the edge of blankets or laid back in the warm sand, working toward becoming something less than all that we think we desire.
You know, as I was listening to you read this, I realized that poetry really does open our soul, expose our soul to everything.
You know, I was reading a little bit about John Masefield, and he said something to the effect that when someone sits down and prays, God's warming his hands on his or her heart. And I would add to that, and also when they are reading and reciting a poem.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Walter Bargen. Always a pleasure having you here. It's a relaxing segment to listen to you read.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate your talents. Walter Bargen, our first poet laureate of the state of Missouri. Tomorrow we're going to find out about the MU Children's Hospital and Science on Tap. If there's something that you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Just drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. And if you're going to be out and about today, be careful and be nice to each other. All right? Bye-bye.